Good evening. I hereby announce that pursuant to Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in the notice which was sent to the Asbury Park Press, the Two River Times, and posted on the bulletin board in Township Hall, and filed in the Township Clerk's office on January 3rd, 2025. Mayor Foster?
Here.
Ms. LaMountain?
Here.
Mr. Impreviduto?
Here.
Mr. Lucarelli is not here this evening. Mr. Romano?
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Excellent. Thank you, Wendy. Can we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will you all please remain standing for a moment of silence for our troops who serve us tirelessly at home and abroad? Thank you. All right. Good evening, everyone. Wendy, you got a bunch of reading again tonight, huh?
The first order of business would be the approval of the minutes for May 27th, 2025 executive and public sessions and June 13th, 2025 executive and public sessions.
Can we get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Impreviduto?
Yes.
Ms. LaMountain?
Yes.
Mr. Romano?
Yes.
Mayor Foster?
Yes, abstain for the one that I missed.
Thank you. The minutes have been successfully approved. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Anybody have public comment on agenda items only at this time? Come on up, Ralph.
We can make comment later on any of the public hearing items.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Everybody's going to save it? All right, Wendy.
Okay. So next would be resolutions 2025-205 to 2025-215, all that are on the consent agenda.
Can we get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Impreviduto?
Yes.
Ms. LaMountain?
Yes.
Mr. Romano?
Yes.
Mayor Foster?
Yes.
Okay. Resolutions 2025-205 to 2025-215 have been successfully passed. Thank you. Next is hearings on ordinances. First one is ordinance 2025-14, which is authorizing the leasing of certain capital equipment by the Township of Homedale, New Jersey, from the Monmouth County Improvement Authority and the execution of a lease and agreement relating thereof.
Any public comments? Come on up, Ralph.
Good evening. I've got two categories of questions or comments with regard to this. First, with regard to this specific ordinance, and then the other is the capital. First of all, this is you're using the Monmouth County Improvement Authority as a mechanism of obtaining these, what are capital goods. So this is a different way of funding as opposed to using the bond ordinance. I'll get back to that in a moment. Let me first ask a couple of questions about the items on this item. There's a Schedule A of an equipment list. It lists replacement of Packer trucks for $680,000. What is a Packer truck? And how many are there? Okay. So there are two, okay. So they're $340,000 apiece. It's an expensive.
How old are they again, Chris?
Okay. Then it also says there are some inspection vehicles. What's that and how many?
I'm sorry, Ralph, can you just, both of them? Sorry, both of you guys, please.
There's two that we're looking at, okay? Both those vehicles are, the one will go to community development. Actually, one's going to go into our IT department. Our IT department travels throughout the town, different buildings and stuff. They need stuff to carry their equipment. Actually, I was just talking to our green team, and we're actually looking to make that an electric vehicle. So,
Those are like SUVs.
yeah, small SUVs, tiny ones. So,
Okay, fine. Thank you. Then the bigger question is that you've got a lot of bond issues on the agenda for tonight. To my mind, I consider this budget-wise similar to a bond issue, but it's separate because there's a different method of financing. If I add all the items up, and I'm not including the swim utility or the sewer utility because those are financed separately, you've got over $8 million in capital funding for this year. That's a lot. My recollection is that in recent years, it's been typically in the range of 2 to 3 million. And, you know, so spending 8 in 1 year, or intending to spend 8 in 1 year, is a lot. And that will increase our debt service. It's money we're borrowing, but we have to pay it back. Is this consistent with what's been said? And I know, Rocky, you've said it, we were under tight spending controls. So this is an awful lot of money being committed to in 1 year, and that's across the total package of these things, not just this one item.
Yeah, Chris, can you speak to that as far as it's also across several different areas, Ralph, to be fair,
so
right?
it
There's
is-
land, there's a whole bunch of things going on. But I'll let Chris explain, because there's a lot of things going on that haven't happened in the other years as well, to be fair.
So ultimately, yes, you're correct. It is about 8 million. But again, some of the stuff's being paid out over a much longer period of time. Some of the stuff's 20 years, like the roads. So those bonds that's why they're done differently than the leases. Okay. I don't believe that we were I wasn't here last year, but we did over $2 million in roads last year, just roads alone. So that couldn't have been the only capital project we did last year. I don't have that in front of me, but it had to be way more than just $2 million. But yes, this is a lot of stuff that goes throughout the town, and it's spread throughout the town. And again, the lease program that we're doing, the reason we're going after that is because we're pooling our money. We're pooling and getting really good rates on those. We can't put everything under that. Only certain things can be put on there, which is equipment and vehicles. We're not allowed to put roads or anything under there. So that's why there's more than one, and maybe that's why it looks like there's a lot more, but I don't think we're far off than what we've done. And
Well-
roads-wise, we're about the same.
And let me just so typically, Ralph, you're right. We were in the 2.8 to 3.2 range, give or take, the past several years.
Nowhere near 8.
Nowhere near 8, but what you also have to look at is we had the stormwater study conducted, and the remediation of our stormwater facilities is massive. The expense tied to it. And right. So if you look at, to your point about the total number being north of 6 or 8 million, whatever it may be, 3.5 is that alone. Right. So you know what I mean. And that's
And I will comment question when we get to that one.
no, fair enough. So to
That's not
just
part of this one.
right. No, I understood. But you know, the reason I bring it up is to the mayor's point. You know, there's things that just haven't been tackled in decades that we have to handle. You know, and it just is what it is.
Fine. Thank you.
Thank you, Ralph. Any other public comments on this ordinance? All right, Wendy.
The motion would be to adopt on final reading and publish in the Asbury Park Press according to law.
Can we get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Impreviduto?
Yes.
Ms. LaMountain?
Yes.
Mr. Romano?
Yes.
Mayor Foster?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2025-14 has been successfully passed. Thank you. Next is hearing for ordinance 2025-15, which is an ordinance authorizing the guarantee by the Township of Homedale in the County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, of payment of principal and interest on the Capital Equipment Lease Revenue Bond Series 2025 Homedale Board of Education project of the Monmouth County Improvement Authority.
Any public comments on this ordinance? Seeing none, Wendy?
Motion is to adopt on final reading and publish in the Asbury Park Press according to law.
Can we get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Impreviduto?
Yes.
Ms. LaMountain?
Yes.
Mr. Romano?
Yes.
Mayor Foster?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2025-15 has been successfully passed. Thank you. Next is for hearing for ordinance 2025-16, which is an ordinance amending section 2-5.10 entitled Duties and Responsibilities.
Any public comments on this ordinance? Seeing none, Wendy.
Motion is to adopt on final reading and publish in the Asbury Park Press according to law.
Can we get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Improvisato?
Yes.
Ms. Lamountain?
Yes.
Mr. Romano?
Yes.
Mayor Foster?
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-16 has been successfully passed. Thank you. Next is hearing for ordinance 2025-17, which is an ordinance amending section 2-4.1 titled Department Chairpersons.
Any public comments on this ordinance? Seeing none, Wendy.
Motion is to adopt on final reading and publish in the Asbury Park Press according to law.
Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Improvisato?
Yes.
Ms. Lamountain?
Yes.
Mr. Romano?
Yes.
Mayor Foster?
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-17 has been successfully passed. Thank you. Next is the hearing for bond ordinance 2025-18, which is providing for improvements to Bethany Road in cooperation with the Township of Hazlet by and in the Township of Homedale in the County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, appropriating $750,000 therefore, including a $244,638 grant from the New Jersey Department of Transportation, and authorizing the issuance of $505,362,000 bonds or notes of the township to finance part of the cost thereof.
Any public comments on this ordinance? Come on up, Ralph.
Ralph Blumenthal, 41 Stony Brook Road again. Just a question, that I presume that this is it's mentioned that it's a project together with Hazlet, and is Hazlet contributing the same amount?
I believe we're contributing 55 because we own 55% of the road. We went by who owns which portion, so we felt that was fair.
Yeah, so these numbers are 100% of the part that Homedale is responsible for, and there's a comparable number, 55, 45, that Hazlet is paying. And I'm guessing they're also getting a federal grant to partly. So both. Yeah, fine, and I guess this is separate from the regular road budget because of the complexity of two towns being involved. So you're doing it with separate bond as a consequence. Good, thank you.
You're welcome, Ralph. Can we get a motion? Do you need to read again before I ask for a motion? All right, can we get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Improvisato?
Yes.
Ms. Lamountain?
Yes.
Mr. Romano?
Yes.
Mayor Foster?
Yes.
Okay. Ordinance 2025-18 has been successfully passed. Thank you. Next for public hearing is ordinance 2025-19, which is an ordinance approving lease agreement with Patrick DePalma for lease of farm property block 50.19, lots 48 and 51, commonly known as 32 Centerville Road.
Any public comments on this ordinance? Come on up, Mr. Sheeta.
Patrick Truskita, 56 Line Road. I fully support the ordinance to approve the Palma lease. I think $1,500 a month is a very good market price on this, clearly over the paltry $500 a month they were paying previously. I also want to commend the township attorney for all the work that they've done on the frivolous lawsuit, which I just want to know, the frivolous lawsuit was supposed to be dismissed with prejudice, but looking at the New Jersey Superior Court website, it's still as an active case. So will you approve this this ordinance with the frivolous lawsuit still active?
We believe we have everything in place, Pat, for that to be removed and taken care of. Nick, do you want to comment on that? I know you're filling in for Michael, but if you feel comfortable, you can certainly comment on that.
Yes, I can confirm we're working with Mr. DePalma's counsel to get the lawsuit dismissed.
We feel very good about it, Pat. But thank you for your comments. Any other comments on the ordinance? Seeing none, Wendy.
The motion would be to adopt on final reading and publish in the Asbury Park Press according to law.
Can we get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Improvisato?
Yes.
Ms. LaMountain?
Yes.
Mr. Romano?
Yes.
Mayor Foster?
Yes.
Okay. Ordinance 2025-19 has been successfully passed. Next is Bond Ordinance 2025-20, which is providing for various swim utility improvements by and in the Township of Homedale in the County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, appropriating $250,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $220,000 bonds or notes of the Township to finance part of the cost thereof.
Any public comments on this ordinance? Seeing none, Wendy?
Motion is to adopt on final reading and publish in the Asbury Park Press according to law.
Can we get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Improvisato?
Yes.
Ms. LaMountain?
Yes.
Mr. Romano?
Yes.
Mayor Foster?
Yes.
Okay. Ordinance 2025-20 has been successfully passed. Thank you. Next ordinance for public hearing is Bond Ordinance 2025-21, which is providing for various sewer utility improvements by and in the Township of Homedale in the County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, appropriating $2 million therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,904,761,000 bonds or notes of the Township to finance part of the cost thereof.
Any public comments? Come on up, Ralph.
Hello again, Ralph Blumenthal, 41 Stony Brook Road. This is for the sewer utility. I don't have records of all prior years, but my recollection, as I remember it, is that I haven't seen something that's this high in recent years. Is there something special going on? I know you talked about last time about having to do the pressure line on Crawford's Corner Road, and is that part of this, or what is leading to $2 million, and that gets repaid out of the sewer utility, which is out of the fees the sewer users pay?
Correct. Chris, if you could answer him when you get a second. Ralph, do you recall when the last time anything was done with the sewer utility? Just out of curiosity. I mean, you come to a lot of meetings, you're very informed and educated. Really long time.
There have been smaller projects done periodically. I know, for example, the pump and the sewer line on Mount Drive had to be replaced. That was $1 million project. And that may have been bonded, but that was at this point like 3 or 4 years ago. There have been a couple of other pump stations that, you know, a pump had to get replaced. That's $50,000. It's not $2 million. So there have been other projects that have been done that have been charged to the sewer utility, but I don't recall seeing another $2 million one.
Please.
So we do know of a severe leak that keeps popping up on the village, by village grant, and it's happened multiple times.
When was the first time that happened, Chris?
Almost 2 years ago, and it happened again in February. So we keep repairing. It's like a patch. That's close to $950,000 job by itself. Okay. Now, understand that, and maybe I should have said this before, especially in all these capital projects, some of them are there for things that might happen, right? So being that we have $2 million put there, maybe I don't use $1 million this year. I won't borrow $1 million this year. I'll borrow whatever I need to do the work this year. I may go 5 years and not borrow any of that, but I have 5 years. This is just authorizing us to borrow it when necessary to do it. Why we're needing to do it is we did have about $1 million in the account, but when we had the problem over here on Crawford Corner, the money couldn't come from the road project because it wasn't a road project. The problem had to come out of something, so we had some sewer money in the bank, not in the bank.
In the utility fund.
Right, to borrow from. We borrowed some of that, it's depleted. The sewer lines are getting older. We're having some issues, they're getting older, they're getting, so to be prepared, and now, listen, none of us want to have a sewer problem, right? So we're prepared if we have to do something without having to come back with a whole new ordinance, no money
Yeah, unfortunately, failures when they happen too often are sudden.
Yes,
And
exactly.
something like this, you've got to react and deal with it, and you can't wait 6 months.
Exactly, and that's our concern. So, this is really a lot of it's planning, especially when it comes to sewer, and we're trying to plan ahead, but it's sometimes hard to keep up with. But it's an old system, so we're gonna have to do some work with it.
And Chris, what was the length of the pipe that was just replaced?
400 feet of pipe, just under 400 feet of pipe, and it was just a straight pipe, and it was $350,000.
For a plastic pipe.
Oh, yeah, it was plastic too, yeah.
Unfortunately, inflation is real, and costs have been going up for everybody.
And obviously, our thought there was the road was being torn up. It was there. It was open.
Absolutely.
We knew we had issues. They were rusted up and different connector parts. So the time was there to do it.
And I think Ralph, the macro point too is the underpinnings, the infrastructure of the town could be in better shape, right? This ties both to the sewer system, and I say this is also a reflection of the stormwater issues that we have, whether it's through the massive expansion and population of our town over time, neglect, or because it wasn't a priority in certain areas. These are things. It's all the above, right? And that's not at fault of anybody before us, by the way. It's just, there are things you prioritize as best you can. And I think we're just hitting an inflection point, so to
I
speak.
think it's also a reflection that there was a lot of growth in the town 20 to 30 years ago. So that a bunch of the infrastructure is 20, 30, 40 years old, and it doesn't necessarily last forever.
Excellent point, Ralph. Thank you.
Thank
Any other comments on the ordinance? Seeing none, can we get a motion?
Motion. Second.
Mr. Improvisato?
Yes.
Ms. LaMountain?
Yes.
Mr. Romano?
Yes.
Mayor Foster?
Yes.
Okay. Ordinance 2025-21 has been successfully passed. Thank you. Next is Bond Ordinance 2025-22, which is providing for general capital improvements by and in the Township of Homedale in the County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, appropriating $6,304,400 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $6,190,000 bonds or notes of the township to finance part of the cost there.
Any public comments? Come on up, Ralph.
I try to keep the comments specific to the ordinance being considered. This relates to the big item here, as you've already mentioned, is the $3.5 million for stormwater improvements. I'm very familiar with the Collier's report, which had a total, depending on which set of numbers you read, of about $3.5 million.
Ralph, I hate to interrupt you. Those numbers are a farce. It is far greater than that. That is the numbers they gave us. You're accurate. They're a farce.
Okay, I mean, there are a couple of things that go into that. There were two appendices with two different sets of numbers. They only added them up in one of them, and that came to the 3.5. In the other one, they didn't add it up, but the numbers were higher. And I asked them, hey, wait a minute, which numbers are you supposed to follow? And I never got an answer back. So I suspect the answer is that the higher set of numbers is the one should have used. What did that add up to?
I believe it was over 12 million, if I'm going off the top of my head. But I also will add, the first one that we bid out and started to work on came back at about 40% higher than they projected, and we had to send it back out to bid again.
Okay, because at the time that there was a hearing on that study, and we asked, okay, what are you going to do about it? And the answer from, I may have been Rocco at that time, it wasn't this year, we haven't had a chance to talk about it yet. So I take it, Chris, that this is one of the things that's got tossed in your lap. And other than the fact that you're putting in $3.5 million, my question really is, what are the plans? Because that list from Collier's was like 100 items long. You can't do 100 items all at once.
So
So what are your thoughts and plans about how to implement this and how to go forward?
So, to your point, we've been speaking about this is probably the main issue that we've spoken about outside of property acquisitions and things like that to prevent development, to kind of stop these issues we're having infrastructure-wise. we figured we need to tackle the most important ones at first, which we have some of them on here. We've identified them. I personally drove around with the administrator as well as our engineer from T&M and one of our heads of DPW to just take a look. It's awful. It's some of the erosion and the issues we have are significant. So we are trying to identify those in most need and try to tackle them, pick them off one at a time or maybe more and move forward. The report, as you mentioned, had more than 100 items. That's impossible to tackle in 1 year. How many questions would you have to ask us on ordinances, Ralph, if we were to tackle all of them? And I'm not trying to be sarcastic. It is a tall order for any town, especially a town of our size. We're trying to identify and handle it as best we can, but we are handling it, which it has not been for, because these are going back years. A lot of these issues are going back a long time ago.
Absolutely.
A long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, I have looked most closely at a couple that are our immediate neighborhood, and it just, things fall apart. And hasn't been repaired in years. In part, some of them fall onto private property, and that's going to create other confusions and procedures that you'll have to deal with it. But yeah, I'm happy to see that you're trying to do something about it. I'm unfortunately unhappy to hear the 12 number.
So were we.
And it's costs keep going up, like it or not, and that Collier report is now 2 years old, I believe. 2 or 3.
No, it's just,
Got released last year, but it was like
Yeah.
2 years in the making or
it
something.
took us over 2 years to get it back, and we
Yeah.
continued to ask him nonstop, and we finally got it last year.
Yeah,
Did you
so
want to
but-
add anything, Chris?
So so if I could have asked the committee for more money, I would have at this point. A lot of this money is probably dedicated already to repairs that we have to make. And just so you know, as an administrator, the mayor and myself the mayor wasn't able to make it, but he's been at past meetings. We have been working with Hazlitt and Union Beach with our state officials and DEP. And we had them on a conference call with all the stakeholders involved. And they basically sat there and just stared at me like they were lost. When I asked them, well, who's supposed to pay for this? They wanted to blame the homeowners who had property, who had tributaries on them. I'm going to tell you, most homeowners don't even know they have tributaries on them and what their responsibilities are for. So we had that one issue where we part of this is paying ourselves back because we had to do an emergency for a home in town. Well, unfortunately, we haven't even started that project because DEP held us up 4 weeks because that's how long it took to get an emergency permit from them. And today, actually, tomorrow they're the T&M's picking up a check for $11,000 for this emergency permit. So, for the permit. So, that's what we're dealing with, right?
Pretty
And-
safe to say that the state and the DEP haven't offered any assistance or suggestions as far as guidance to.
Zero, Mayor, it's zero. So we need to act on our own, and it's sad that we have to do this, but we're gonna have to do it, and we're gonna have to take the worst stuff first. And that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, I've been involved with this for some time, including with Colliers and also as a member of the Environmental Commission, which happens to have a meeting tomorrow night. So I'm going to mention these thoughts tomorrow night to the Environmental Commission. I'm sure they'll be happy to hear that you're taking steps to work on these issues. The Environmental Commission has been working as part of a collaboration with representatives from some more of the towns than you just mentioned, because of concerns not just about the physical infrastructure for stormwater, but all the streams, some of which have been blocked and have been causing, and it's a slow process to get the other towns involved, but we've had representatives from the Bay Shore towns, from Middletown, at these ongoing meetings, and we're going to be trying to inspect possibly the Mahoris and the Flat Creek in the fall, just to get a feel for what are the problems and what needs to be done, and that's could potentially, getting the different towns together, because the flow doesn't stop at the town boundary, and it's
No, and Ralph, that's a huge issue as well. I don't want to get too off topic because you and I have spoken about that as well. That is something we are all acutely aware of, and we'll probably be speaking with the environmental group to see how we can try to put some pressure to get somebody to answer us from Trenton.
Well, and it's a big deal, and it affects too many people, and we're concerned that it might affect more, and how to make the whole thing. So I'm glad to see in this particular item that you're including something in the budget, and Chris, that you're taking a look at it and gonna start trying to do something. And if I or the Environmental Commission can help you try to look at some of these, prioritize them, see which ones we've heard about, and I'm sure there are other ones that are important that we haven't heard about.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you, Ralph. Any other public comments? Come on up, Ron.
Ron, I'm at 32 Ladwood Drive. Just another question on the vehicles and equipment. You talked about two Packer
Ron,
vehicles.
we're on this ordinance though.
Isn't it? This is
It
part
is?
of this.
Okay. Just
Part
wanna
of
make
that
sure.
6 million ordinance, $412,500 is vehicles and equipment. Let me just. So we had an ordinance earlier for $2 million for Packer trucks. And then here's another one for $412,500. It just says vehicles. Right. So my thing is, I've mentioned this a couple of times before. I understand from complaining about vehicles in the past that there's a state mandate as far as police vehicles are concerned. Whatever it gets to certain mileage, you got to. And I see that we're buying a police vehicle for $45,000, and next month there'll be an item on there for $17,000 for a light package for the police vehicle. So I understand that's unavoidable. But the other vehicles, you just mentioned inspection vehicles under the other $2 million. So what vehicles is that $412,000? We have a handful of little Jeep Compasses out there, construction department, recreation department, on and on and on and on. And yet you're buying two more small electric vehicles for inspection vehicles, whatever the heck that is. Is there an ordinance, state ordinance, that those have to be replaced? Why don't you run those things to the ground? Why are we spending another $500,000 on additional vehicles? It just, it just feels like we have the best equipment around. We have the best DPW trucks. We have the best fire trucks, which is great. We have the best ambulances. We have the best police vehicles. And now we're getting support vehicles. It's just a feeling I get that maybe we don't have to, maybe that can be next year's expenditure. It's just a feeling I get. It's an observation. So if we could list those vehicles, and maybe, again, I've asked for benchmarks when we have to approve or replace the vehicles other than the police cars. That was
Chris,
my just comment.
could we get a list of the vehicles and the mileage just so that we can kind of show, hey, here's the fleet, here's the age, here's the mileage, this is what we're doing. Kind of like we did with the Packer trucks, over 20 years old.
And by the way, last time I asked the question, the previous administrator gave me a list of just what you just said. And it was like 20 years old. Okay, that's great, 20 years old. That's justified. But if you got those little Jeeps out there,
We'll get you
repurpose them.
Yeah, we'll get you that same list.
Well, actually,
Thank you.
I think if you look at those Jeeps, those Compasses, they're about 20 years old.
Okay.
That's what you're looking at. Those are old. So, but this is only one of those vehicles are being replaced right now. So that it's not like we're doing, we can't buy them all at once. So if we don't start to slowly rotate them out, but that has nothing to do with this one. These are
Yeah, what
equipment,
vehicle is
this
that, 412?
Well, that's not
With the
for-
other equipment.
Yeah, it's a lot of other equipment. Like
Okay.
just a portable radio is $8,000. Right, so and we're buying radios for the police. That's a lot of computer equipment. That's just one.
I know
little
it's
thing.
I know it's not all vehicles.
Yeah,
I
it's
get
very
that.
few vehicles. Those are small utility vehicles. That's not what's pumping that
And Ron,
price up.
just to add, the ask from each of the departments was much greater than what they're receiving. So there was a fire truck on there, for example, and we spoke with Dave DiArci, and he said, no, I think we can move this another year. I think we're okay, and that kind of stuff. So
Okay.
we do watch and look at every single option that we have. But your comments are appreciated.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Impreviduto?
Yes.
Ms. LaMountain?
Yes.
Mr. Romano?
Yes.
Mayor Foster.
Yes.
Ordinance 2025-22 has been successfully passed. Thank you.
Wendy, great job again. A lot of reading there.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we will move on to department reports. Chris, do you want to add anything?
Thank you, Mayor. Real quick. Crawford's Quarter project, as you can see, is moving along smoothly. We are on target to complete before school starts. The sewer pipe, again, replacement was done ahead of schedule overnight. They actually had logged it for, I think it was 5 nights. They did it in 3.5, I think. That's all it took them to do it. With the passage of capital ordinance, we can move forward on several of these projects that we're talking about with stormwater. That's real important at this point. Also, part of that program, that the capital tank was paying ourselves back for, again, the project we already approved. We look to start our road program this year. We're probably going to split it into 2 different road programs, 1A and 1B, basically. And by doing that, it will make sure that we get a contractor in here who's willing to meet a deadline. I think we went too far into this year. We haven't even closed out 24 yet, so my goal is to get them and put a time on it so we can get half the town done by 1. If we get a large contractor, then they're going to have to say they can get it done by March, the end of March next year. That's what my goal is. So we'll go from there and see how we work out with that. One thing I did want to bring up, and we'll get into this more during budget time. Everybody's aware state health benefits. The number the actuaries came up with 36%. That's so if you add it all up over the years, it's 50% higher than it was 4 years ago. We are waiting. There was some legislation pushed out to try to prevent or help some of this. I don't know how that's going to help. We have a couple of plans that are in the hopper that we can tackle once we know what those final numbers are. And we're going to try to roll those out with the unions and try to save the town money and the employees' money. But until we know the final numbers, we had to put a hold on that because, again, there was a threat to even raise that plan to a point where it wouldn't be worth it. So we're working on it. We're waiting. It should have been done 2 weeks ago. Of course, it's not. Open enrollment's in October, so I'm not sure what they're waiting on.
And I know you and I spoke about that when it first came out, and you started kicking some different ideas around and stuff. And now you just see there's I don't want to call it an uproar, but everybody, all the other townships, Board of Educations, all have this significant increase coming yet again after all the issues we had this year. Thank you.
No problem.
Nick, would you like to add anything this evening?
Nothing at this time, Mayor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Joe?
Thank you, Mayor. Homedale Library, Homedale Book Club. September's book club is The Taster by V.S. Alexander. The club will meet on Tuesday, September 9th at 10 a.m. to discuss the September Wellness Program with Hackensack Meridian's Memory Loss and Aging Program. We're going to learn about the differences between normal and abnormal memory loss and how to keep your mind sharp as you age. That's Wednesday, September 10th at 1:30. Future wellness program topics will include breast cancer detection and screening, pre-diabetes, eating well with diabetes at the holidays. Summer Reading Challenge ends August 15th. The Summer Reading Challenge will wrap up this Friday, August 15th. Please have all your books and reading activity logged by that date. From the Board of Ed, Homedale High School students performed exceptionally well at the NJGPA, a statewide graduation exam. Their scores in both English language arts and math were significantly higher than state average. English scores were particularly impressive, with 96.5% of students meeting or exceeding the required benchmark. Students showed strong skills in literary analysis, reading comprehension, and writing. In math, 89% of students met the proficiency benchmark. While their scores were well above the state average, the district plans to focus on improving mathematical reasoning skills. Construction on the new village school playground is progressing and is expected to be finished before the school year starts. The project is being funded by a combination of a DCA grant, a donation from the Parent School Association, and district funds. The old playground has been removed and the area is being prepared for new, inclusive, and age-appropriate equipment. Indian Hill hosted a summer program called Camp Invention for students in grades 1 through 6, focusing on STEM education. The camp encouraged creativity and problem solving through hands-on activities. Students participated in challenges created by national inventors, Hall of Fame inductees, where they built prototypes and designed eco-friendly inventions. A highlight of the camp was a visit from Dr. Victor Lawrence, a local Homedale resident and National Inventors Hall of Fame inductee. He spoke to the students about his career and inspired them to pursue their curiosity in science. And there's nothing to report from the Veterans Committee as they are still on their summer hiatus. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Joe. Rocco?
Thank you, Mayor. From the Homedale Police Department, July's Goal Zero high visibility enforcement was postponed due to storms and the declared state of emergency. Our upcoming Goal Zero detail will take place Thursday, August 28th from 3 to 7 p.m., focusing on Highway 34. As a reminder, those specialized and highly visible enforcement details are aimed at lowering traffic deaths and injuries on New Jersey roadways. The Homedale Township Police Department thanks all of our residents who came out for National Night Out last week. It was a huge success. We look forward to seeing you again at next year's event. From the Homedale Fire Department. On July 30th, the fire department responded to a reported fire on the roof of the Arnold Walter Nursing Home on Laurel Avenue. The fire was extinguished quickly and contained to the roof. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. On August 8th, 2 members attended their first day of Firefighter 1 training at the Monmouth County Police Academy. They will graduate from the academy in early January. Our annual fund drive is underway. You should have received a letter from us, and we ask that you please consider making a donation. Your support helps us continue to serve and protect the community. A reminder, please call 911 to report a fire or fire-related emergencies rather than calling the fire station directly. And now from the Department of Public Works, the final 4 large item drop-off events for 2025 are scheduled for September 13th and 27th, October 11th and 25th. DPW has also had several residents bring hazardous materials to the recycling center. Unfortunately, we are not able to accept them. Materials such as paint, paint thinner, stain, pool chemicals, waste oil, and gasoline must be disposed of through the Monmouth County Household Hazardous Waste Facility. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Rock. Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. From the Community Development Department, we have a new law regarding fire safety standards. There was a new law recently signed by the governor. Fire extinguishers are no longer required in 1- and 2-family homes during inspections for sale or new tenants. The change prioritizes quick evacuation over attempting to put out a fire. A new law requires homes with backup power sources like generators or solar panels to have a warning label. The label must be placed near the main electrical panel. This new labeling mandate is a safety measure for firefighters and other emergency responders, alerting them to potential electrical hazards from secondary power sources. From our Homedale 250th committee, on August 14th, there will be another meeting. They'll be meeting at 11 a.m. to start planning our signature events for the upcoming year. The Homedale America 250 committee is actively seeking volunteers for a variety of roles, everything from event planning and logistics to historical research and outreach. In order to make the event successful, we need your help. So if you have any interest in volunteering, please email info@homedaletownship.com. And our fun fact this month regarding Homedale history, the Penelope Stout Historical Marker. Homedale Township is partnering with the Monmouth County Park System and local historian Jean Volontaise to install a historical marker at the site of Penelope Stout's home and likely burial site on Crawford's Corner Road in Homedale. Penelope Stout was a European settler who was shipwrecked off Sandy Hook in the 1640s and survived a Native American attack. She later married a man named Richard Stout and settled in what is now Homedale Township. Penelope is often considered the first European woman to have arrived in Monmouth County and is referred to as Mother of Middletown. Our Homedale Green Team, the team met with the Township Administration to review their community energy planning status. Green Team member Karen Favarzani wrote a guide to backyard composting, which was printed in the August edition of the community magazine and posted on their blog. The team submitted our final application for bronze certification to Sustainable Jersey. We're awaiting their response. And we connected the Public Works Department with HelpSee, which is an organization that recycles used clothing. regarding obtaining a textile recycling bin which would allow residents to recycle clothing and other materials that are no longer wearable. Anyone interested, our next Green Team meeting is Monday, September 8th at Bell Works and is open to anyone that would love to join us. Our Homedale Heritage Committee met earlier this month to finalize plans for all of the vendors, restaurants, shops, and presenters who will participate in this year's Homedale Heritage Day. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Kim. All right, I'm going to try to make this quick, but we have a few things on my pages, which normally isn't the case. So on behalf of the Homedale Township Committee, colleagues, and all the residents of Homedale, I would like to extend our congratulations to Mega Gan on her victory at the U.S. Women Amateur Championship. Mega is a Homedale native and a graduate of Homedale High School, where she played on the golf team. We are all proud of your achievement and look forward to what you accomplish next. Last week, Deputy Mayor LaMountain, Committeeman Impreveduto, and I officially unveiled 2 road signs designating the Homedale portion of the Garden State Parkway access road as Billy DeMayo Boulevard. The dedication was established earlier this year by the Township Committee through Ordinance 2025-1 in memory of Homedale resident Billy DeMayo, who was tragically killed in the New Year's terrorist attack in New Orleans. Billy was a graduate of Homedale High School and a noted player on their lacrosse team. After graduating, Billy returned and volunteered his time as a coach for the team. I'd also like to thank our internal team for the design they came up with. I think it's amazing. If you haven't seen the sign, it's beautiful. It's right at the entrance on both sides. In partnership with the PNC Bank Arts Center, we have procured a limited number of discounted $30 tickets just for Homedale residents. You can use code HOMEDALE at Ticketmaster.com for the following shows: the 8/17 Beatstock with Boy George, September 8th with Pantera, September 16th Falling in Reverse, and September 26th Judas Priest. I'd like to say a special thank you to General Manager Jorel, who worked with us on this. I'm not thrilled that they got rid of the lawn passes. I myself and my wife had them, as well as other family members and a lot of other people I know in town. We're hoping maybe they bring them back next year if they haven't had enough revenue from some of the shows, but we'll see how that goes. But special thank you to Jorel. On Thursday, September 4th, I've invited representatives from the New Jersey Division of Taxation to come to Homedale and assist our senior residents with filling out the Pass 1 form, which is a combined application for the Anchor, the Senior Freeze, and the Stay NJ tax relief programs. The staff from the Division of Taxation will be set up at the Senior Community Center from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. You do not need an appointment. You can drop in at any time during that period. In order to be assisted, you must bring the following with you: your photo identification, your complete address, including block, lot, and municipal code. We'll help you with that if you need. All of your 2023 and 2024 income documentation, the total amount billed in your 2023 and 2024 property taxes. This Township Committee is committed to cutting through the red tape and helping our residents get the tax relief that they are entitled to. JCP&L is starting its Project Resilience in Homedale soon, and we want to share the information we've received about it with you. Project Resilience is part of a large multi-year investment program which is aimed at modernizing the electric grid to improve reliability and prepare for future energy demands. This project involves a variety of upgrades to the power infrastructure in different parts of New Jersey, including Homedale. We will share with you more information as it comes out with us. We're constantly speaking with them. We're actually having a meeting with them, hopefully next week, to go through some of these items. So we should have a lot more details at the next meeting. And then last, I just wanted to comment on what Rock brought up about National Night Out and just say a huge thank you to all of our teams internally, right? Our administration, our rec department, our DPW, our police, our fire, our EMS. Everybody was out last Tuesday. Great night, great weather. Unfortunately, it was canceled last year, so I think we had a much, much better showing this year. And it was great to see all of our employees there and representing the township, and a great job that they all do. So that is all the comments I have tonight. We're going to open it up to public comments before we wrap up. I don't see any. Well, thank you, Jay. I almost had to call on somebody like I did last meeting.
By the way, if I'm shivering, it's because you keep it a lot cooler in here than my house, for God's sakes.
Yeah,
What is it, in the 60s here, 70s? It's not 80 in here, trust me. I'm curious. Any body language on the lawn passes? That was a controversial decision. Sorry, I had some margaritas beforehand, Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, that
So
was,
this may be rough up here, but go ahead.
It was from Live Nation down. So Jarrell was bummed about it as well, and she said it was made on a national level. It affected 50
Oh, it was
other
national.
facilities,
Okay,
50 other
okay.
facilities as well. So
Okay.
I've been talking to her probably once a month. I was over there for a couple shows. So hopefully something gets back to them, and they say, you know what, maybe we have blackouts for a certain number of sold-out shows, but still get the pass for all the other shows. Hopefully.
All right. I'm curious, with all of this spending, the debt, I'm not questioning the debt being taken on and everything, but, and I know you're probably not going to want to answer this, but is there any sort of feeling or body language on the outlook of Bellworks revenues over the next 18, 24 months? Are things look stable? Are there any big, I probably should know this, but are there any big leases expiring or things like that? Or like, how is your feeling, as the mayor, how is your feeling on the outlook of Bellworks?
At the moment, it's strong.
Okay.
We meet with Ralph, I would say, quarterly, if not more. Ralph from Somerset, not.
Yeah.
He's indicated everything seems to be going extremely well there. If you've been to the building, you could see it. It is extremely vibrant. The parking lot is always full. I don't know of any issues that they're having. So we feel good about it. I know the last time our CFO, Bill Antonetti, spoke about it, we anticipate the numbers to continue to be strong.
Okay.
And Jay, I will add that's a big part of what helps us fix
Oh,
these problems
definitely.
that have been lingering.
Yeah, definitely.
Lingering's a polite word.
I'm going to ask it again, but I know the answer is going to be, it's on the schedule. Homedale Road is supposed to be paved this fall, correctly, by the county.
It
God
is.
help us if it's not.
I was asking. I saw.
I see you in your blue car a
representatives.
lot up and down that road. So I,
and I am assured that it's on
Yeah,
the
okay.
schedule now.
'Cause
Whether
it's not good for that Acura.
Hey, you're right.
You're right. Okay.
He got it blue just because he was going to be mayor.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
he wanted to
You're-
make sure it was
you're easy
Homedale
to-
blue.
He's very easy to be spotted in that, obviously. Speaking of roads, I was on North Beers Street today, which is atrocious. Is that on our schedule in the next 18 months? Maybe it should be.
I don't know offhand.
As you make that curve around heading toward the hospital, it's really bad.
So I don't have the list in front of me because it's still in flux, you know, it
Yeah.
depends on how much roads end up coming in at. But knowing that, I'm going to
Take a look at
it. One of the pieces of equipment that we're getting actually allows us to do better repairs in between road programs.
Okay.
So we're not going to be like filling little potholes anymore. We're actually going to mill it and mill sections out so that it'll be smooth. That's
Okay.
our goal. That's what we're purchasing that little skid steer for, is actually to help with our in-between paving.
Okay.
So-
You should have led with that earlier.
I've commented about this before. I think some work was done, but it needs to be looked at again. And I take this very seriously, and I think you all should. Middletown Road, which I'm on sometimes 6 times a day, continues to have dead branches over it. There's actually one branch now, or vine, that's hanging vertically, just ready to fall on a bad day into someone's sunroof, God forbid, or with the top down, possibly killing a resident or someone nearby.
Do you know the section, Jay, so we could have DPW take a look?
It's, I know there's a pothole too that needs to be addressed between St. Catherine's and the 2 new houses that were built there. So I would say anywhere from St. Catherine's to the 2 new houses, or maybe a little further, someone needs to go slow and say, I mean, one of them's a vertical, I mean, we really can't have that hanging. And I know it's easy for a resident to say, well, that needs to be addressed, but this is not good. This is going to be a bad setup.
Listen, and I have said this before. We appreciate you bringing these to
Yeah.
attention. We will take a look at it, and we'll move on it.
Okay. And it's nice to be updated by JCP&L. I think I was here about a month ago saying, you know, these polls are an abomination. Now we have a parallam pole or 2 on 34, you know, where they fuse. And by the way, when the sun hits it, it's like a gold pole shining in the distance. I mean, they clearly have no regard for what this looks like, for the impact on the town and the county. I mean, have we at least voiced that to them, or we're concerned about what it's going to be like in Homedale?
Yes, that has been
Okay.
voiced to them many times. As I just mentioned, we're having that meeting next week
Yeah.
where I can continue to voice our concerns because it's our look, right? And it's our feel that's being impacted. We do have the new ordinance, which if they start taking down trees, we're going to have them obviously kick in and replace and do whatever we can. It's unfortunate, Jay, because we just kind of finished up that lawsuit that went on for 5 years
Yeah.
with the BPU.
Yeah.
We ultimately lost, but we are looking at this very harshly because they're not giving us the answers we want.
Yeah.
And we're going to look at what our options are.
And Mr. Foster, Mr. Sherbin, and some of others, I know you're close to the county people, as I voiced my opinion to some of the other people I know that are close with county people. And unfortunately, like I've complained before, I can't do this all this time and go to the county. I blame the county people for not being on top of this, for not getting involved and not saying, hey, do they really need to be that high? Are they really needed? And the county should be pushing back at the BPU. Because unfortunately, I think the BPU says, oh, yeah, we were connect the solar, connected the, I really think the county should be involved and step up here. And do you see the support wires on some of these poles? I don't know if they're all going to be permanent. And someone told me the term is double wood. Are they going to keep the old poles for the television?
No.
They're not. Okay,
No,
so
no.
that's
Once,
a good thing.
Yeah, once
That's
they
a good
finish
thing.
the stretch, then they come back and they
Okay.
have Verizon
Okay.
and the cable companies move theirs, and then they remove the old
Good.
poles.
That's good. I hope some of these support wires are going to go too once it's all up and running.
I would assume they're saying it's supposed to be to carry more power and stuff like that. So I'm hoping they can consolidate a bunch
Yeah.
of the wires. That's what we're really trying to discover and find out. Because it's not like they've given us a ton of information, Jay.
No, they're not going to.
No, they're not.
And I just want to review, because again, I followed the industry. They've wildly underinvested in the poles over the years, which comes out of their bottom line. We know by the data they've wildly underinvested in maintaining streetlights. We know that. That's a fact. All that comes out of their bottom line. So now they haven't invested in any of this stuff. That would have come out of the bottom line. But conveniently, they're packaging whatever that plan is called. I think it could be tens or 100 million. I forgot. It could be like $100 million statewide. And that's going to be a guaranteed rate of return on investment from the utility ratepayers for 50 years. So where it should have kind of hurt them a little, they've spent virtually nothing. But now they're going to be guaranteed this by the BPU. And what's most infuriating is they don't care what it looks like. And what kind of company does that? Okay.
One that, as you pointed out, I don't mean to cut you off. One that, as you pointed out, has, I don't want to say the support of the state, but the state isn't cracking down or doing anything.
No, I mean, I don't want to get political, but look at the BPU closely.
So Jay, I'll point out, you almost got into a fist fight with a guy in the
No,
parking
I
lot
almost
from
got
JC.
physically assaulted for the
Yes.
record. Yeah. Yeah. No,
That's the kind of company we're dealing
I
with.
know, and yeah. Now, I'm going to apologize up front. Am I cut off here? Time's
Real quick,
Real
please.
quick, I'm going to apologize up front to all of you. Many of us don't want to do your job. We respect the time you do. We respect the decisions you make. We respect all the hard things you have to do and a lot of the garbage you have to deal with. But there's something, I think it was a bad decision by you guys. I've bounced it off of other people, and they think not the best decision. And this is probably going to offend you, but I'm going to say it. And I hope you will consider reconsidering the decision. And that is putting a sign up saying, we, all of you, preserve this piece of land. I appreciate that you preserve the land. I appreciate the decisions you make, the money that was allocated. But this money, while you're all taxpayers too, came from all the taxpayers in Homedale. It also came from the benefits of the Bell Works program. I think the sign makes you all look small. I think it makes the town look small. I've seen it in other towns. This plot of land preserved by the blank committee. I would suggest we take down that sign with your names on it, that we preserve this land, and either don't put up a sign or say, I think it's tacky, preserved by the Homedale taxpayers. Why don't we just say preserve land or something like that? I appreciate all you do. I think these signs are a bad idea.
I appreciate your
Thank you.
comments.
Thank you.
And as we all know, a lot of that hasn't happened, and I'm not looking to tip anybody's hats or anything like that. I've personally asked for some of the signs just to have respectfully the entire committee and nobody singled out. And I think it's important that we take pride in the things we've accomplished. So I'm going to politely disagree with you.
Okay. I maybe bounce it off others. Thank you.
Any other comments? Come on up, Bill.
Bill Little, 8 Coventry Square. Following up on the June 13th TC meeting when you passed a couple of ordinances about the Rossi, the recreation and open space inventory. I think 2025-161 was to get the township engineer to kind of do an inventory and maybe update candidate properties or whatever it was. And 162, I think, authorized the township administrator, attorney, and engineer to do whatever was needed to be done to get, I think it was one lot of the De Palma farm was in Rossi and the other one wasn't, or something like that, to get the whole thing on that list so that it would never be developed. So I'm just wondering what the status is of that. That was a couple of months ago.
Sure, and it's not a completed process yet, Bill. I promise you it will be completed this year. I will make certain of that. Obviously, we were dealing with some other issues that we wanted to make sure got handled and resolved accordingly.
Yeah. Okay. Just checking.
Thank you, Bill. Any other comments? How about a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?